Pozdrav svima, dobrodošli u Brawl Stars turnir. Krenuo je Brawl Stars turnir po meni. Rekao sam bio u prošlom videu da bi volio da pobedi Zeta. Ona se po meni pala u veoma lakom timu i nju nažalost nećemo gledati zato što je ona grupa C. Ali ne veze, igraće Rakun i ne znam koji je drugi klub. Iskreno ne znam koji je ovaj klub, ali ovdje vidite sad ovaj drugi Rakun. Oni će igrati ovo, tako da ne znam šta je ovo. Ali da, jedno čekamo da krene sve. Danas je prvi dan svakog dana, mislim da je od 11 sati, tako da najzbudljivije će biti. Evo i Navi je tu. Navi je grupa B. I oni se nisu pali u teškoj grupi. Ovo je Amerika, ne znam nije kako, ništa. Iskreno, po meni nisu trebali još da probali ples, ne znam šta je ovo, tako da vam se javim kad ovo se završi. Ovo je inače brutalno, evo ga još jedan klub ovdje, nešto na to. Tako da, ovdje je sigurno i Marko KC. Već 4000 ljudi gleda ovo. Malo pre kad smo, znači minut, evo, već su ušli 3000 ljudi za sekundu, bukvalno. A ja ne znam iskreno ko igra prvi, nisu možda Rakuns. Mislim, najzanimljivije će mi biti kad igra Zeta i Navi. Po meni je, ne znam, po vama. Mislim, premotajte mi slobodno ovo, pošto je onako je ovo video. Premotajte, neću jutiti. Mislim, mi ste sigurno što kad premotali ovo, ali... Ne znam, ovo kao žensko treba da predstavljaju možda Janet. Evo je Zeta. Sada prikazuju Zetine igrače. Svi su tu, svi jedva čekaju prvi meč, kao i ja. Mislim da nema potrebe za ovim plesom, ono. Bravo, bravo, nema, ne znam šta, bravo, ajde.
To prove themselves on this stage at DreamHack Winter and show they are the best Brawl Stars team in the world. And this weekend, 12 teams will be laying everything on the line to take the top prize of $250,000 and the trophy. Welcome everyone to the Brawl Stars World Finals 2023.
Okay. Evo ga prvi klub, evo ga i drugi. Evo ga trofej trčkara, evo ga Nitin medved. A zanimljivo, iskreno. Ovdje čak možda bi Supreme Nexus. Neđe. Ajde da vidimo. Evo ga Rakuns. Evo ga trči trofej. I evo ga.
Hello brawlers around the world. Hello Jönköping, Sweden. How are we doing? Oh, the Brawl Brawl Stars fans in Sweden have been popping in to see us, and I know we're going to be joined by so many more today. But right now, I need all their energy and all your energy as well watching online, because we need to bring in the 6 teams who are going to be competing today in groups A and B. Would you like to meet them, Yontraping? I think I need you to be a little bit louder. We've got some nervous players backstage. Should we meet the teams? Fantastic. Well, let's kick off with our Group A teams from North America. It's Luminosity Gaming.
Čuli ste prve parove. Ovo će biti već stresno.
I can hear some fans calling out the player's name in the audience. Come on, Sweden.
Svi na mesta, polako, ajmo.
Welcome to BC Gaming.
Sad dolazi gaming, BC Gaming.
And rounding up Group A from India, we have Revenant Esports. And moving on to Group B. From North America, it's Tribe Gaming!
Ovako, Prime Gaming. Navići isto uskoro.
Next up, close rivals of Tribe
Pošto
Gaming.
su oni u grupu.
Reply Totem!
Aha. Jaj, koliko sam nije glup. Ovo to, brate, deca igraju fazom.
And rounding up Group B, it's Navi!
Evo ga! Navi!
Good luck to all of our teams competing today. We'll have 6 more teams in Group C and D competing tomorrow. But right now, let's talk through the teams we're going to be seeing today with Ark and Travis.
To su klubovi, izvinite. Ovo su klubovi koji igraju danas.
Good evening, everybody, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Brawl Stars World Finals. The most important day in the Brawl Stars calendar is finally here, and I could not be more excited. Joined, of course, on the casting desk by Trav.
Vidimo dole prve suparnike.
I'm always feeling great. I was initially approached to, you can be the one. I was going to be a dancer.
Iskreno navijam za Link Gaming, tako da nadam se iskreno da on prolazi dalje. Mislim, u stvari imat će još jednog protivnika.
It really is. We've got the group stages. Everybody's been wanting them, and we delivered. Group A and Group B will be playing through on day 1 in that single round-robin format, where the top 2 will advance to day 3. Then the same in
Dvoje
day 2
prolaze, ja mislim da.
the exact same format. We'll say goodbye to one teams,
jedan
and then play it
ispada.
out for the all-important World Finals on day 3.
3 days of nothing less than brawl, sweat and tears. I absolutely love it.
Zato ćemo gledati sutra.
In the game up for grabs, the chance of lifting gold, the fame, the fortune, and of course the glory. It's going to be an absolute whirlwind of a journey. Honestly, the groups are all so balanced. I can't pick one that really stands out to me as one that's going to kind of thrive or have their demise.
Mogu sam možda
It's
preskočiti,
the
mislim.
closest world finals I think we've ever had.
It really is. Like, every single group are going to be absolutely incredible. This might be the best 3 days of Brawl we've ever had in the Brawl Stars Championship, and it's really, really exciting, and I cannot wait to get underway.
Let's take a look as well at the schedule and how the day is going to go down. Of course, everyone backstage getting themselves all readied up and ready to go.
Vidite, evo sutra imate Brawl Stars dan 2.
Leading up a whole year's of work. Luminosity Gaming up first versus Revenant Esports. Luminosity Gaming versus BC Gaming after that, and Revenant Esports versus BC Gaming to follow. And then
igra prvo protiv Train Gaminga, pa protiv Replay Tome.
Amazing stuff. Let's have a look at the prize pool. See what these teams are
Gaming
playing
igra
for. There's a lot
pro
of cash on the line. $250,000 for first place.
od 9 do 12 $15,000.
5th to 8th, 30,000. And even if you get knocked out in the group stage,
Od 5 do 8 mjesto $30, od 3 do 4 85, drugo mjesto 150, prvo mjesto 250 i za trofej $750. Ne znam, Instagram. Gdje ovdje trener, evo su vam grupe. Zeta je se palo dosta lako grupu po meni. Evo je ovdje Zeta. Oni igraju sutra, evo su Rakun. Ovo ovdje ćemo gledati danas grupu A i grupu B. Iskreno ja čekam, nijedan game je jedan game, sutra od 11 časova i u subotu se igra polufinale i finale. Samo da nije rano subota. Aha, evo su... Sve su apsolutno isto. Mislimo, sad po njihovom novom ispada Navi. Ali ne, ja baš nisam najbolji u engleskom, tako da ćemo staviti ovo. Mislim, ne kapiram baš za sad ovo, pošto mi je ovo prvo.
It's going to be a whirlwind of a day, no doubt about it. Even Group A, honestly, could have its fair share of upsets.
It could, and I'm glad you're coming around to the fact that I am the predictions master. Now you're kind of warming up to that idea that I am always right, and clear to see, as once again, you seem to have copied me.
Let's not go there, let's not go there.
Even the pin, he's copied the pin as well.
Go back in the vault, every World Finals to date, but my word, it's going to be a fantastic day of nothing less than, again, everyone doing their thing. Charles Pachincini for Luminosity Gaming taking on Revenant Esports Response, Sergeant Clash and Trishant.
I mean, they really are two incredible teams. Luminosity Gaming have been dominating all the way through their region, and the boys on Revenant all incredible as well.
Well, without further ado, the players are ready. So let's head over to the stage for those walkouts with Frankie.
Thank you very much, guys. Feast your eyes on this trophy here, because the teams you're about to see on stage will do everything to lift it on Sunday. So let's meet the first two contenders from Group A. Kicking off with North America's Luminosity Gaming.
Ulaze prvo.
Charles, Pachi, and Chino are a trio who not just afford to be reckoned with for their mechanical skills, but they have a superpower in their in-game chemistry. They're not just teammates, they are mates. And that's going to be the difference maker potentially on this stage at DreamHack. And their opponents today, all the way from India, it's Revenant Esports.
India Esports.
And IGL Sergeant Clash and Prashon are joined by a literal world champion in response who lifted the trophy all the way back in 2020. Do not underestimate this trio today. All right, DreamHack, give it up for our teams. I said, DreamHack, give it up for your teams. I need that energy, these teams need your energy, and our casters need your energy too. So let's head back over to Travanark.
It's all about to go down, Trav. The first match of the day, and a real juicy one for me. Revenant really did shine at LCQ. Luminosity Gaming have had a phenomenal year. Honestly, the only team they ever really lost to was STMN, and they made every single grand finals. It's going to be a fantastic way to start the day. A lot of the teams are saying very, very good things about the scrims that they've been having with Revenants, a very aggressive team.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. #1 seed in India versus #1 seed in NA West. Battle of those top spots. Obviously, India had to go through the LCQ first as well. They seem to absolutely breeze through India this year, but, you know, what does that really mean on the world stage? I think that LCQ is a big proving point for them.
The first World Finals for India, putting them on the map. It's such an important time for the fan following and, of course, the team. And, again, I have had high hopes for them. They really showed a lot of promise in the Snapdragon Pro Series Masters in Japan back in May. And I think that, you know, getting a set against Tribe Gaming, gaining a set against Help Me. I mean, those are some really fierce rosters, and I think that can't be understated.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Masters, they looked pretty good. They didn't really come away with many victories. They came away with a few sets and a bit more experience on the international stage. And I think that was a huge thing for them, especially going into the LCQ. They knew at that point in the year they were succeeding time and time again in their region. They needed that international stage to be able to build up their confidence going into the LCQ. And then in the LCQ, they were so convincing. I mean, look at that man, Sargent. He really he tore through the opposition.
But on the other side of the coin, Luminosity Gaming have been the fiercest of underdogs that no one really saw coming into the competition. And they have just really showing the NA scene how it's been done. But this is the first LAN for Charles, rather. Chino and of course Apache were in the Snapdragon Pro Series Season 1, and that was their kind of like LAN debut. So being on that stage is a very kind of splits the glamour. So how they keep their cool today is going to be crucial to their success.
From this region, STMN destroyed
73% za pobedu.
Beating them all year long. So I'm expecting big things. It's just really the question of whether or not they're going to settle. 70% of people believe that they will. And 27 siding with Revenant.
Some fair stats. It's going to come down to a good draft, however, and I do want to see a Piper ban on the side of Luminosity Gaming, because we've seen Sargent with that brawler on this very map absolutely popping off time and time again, and he really is that man that can just kind of have the biggest of backpacks. But I want to see Trishant, I want to see Response come into the mix today and really give that man the biggest amount.
Specifically, but I also think it's just
Evo ga ljudi, zabrana je ovdje Tara.
Definitely a nod to you, mate.
Mape jungle grab.
Baz on Revenant side, the Colette, which I think is very much needed because her hypercharge is just devastating Charlie, and the Buster as well really is that brawler that's been catapulted into the forefront of the map. The Otis, the Eve, and the Sandy ban both coming from Revenant. I mean, it's definitely like an all-rounded kind of brawler, but certainly not the one I was expecting from them.
I think the same
for me as well. I feel like there's a lot more very good mids. You know, 8-bit hasn't been picked. We haven't even seen Nanny. Those are two mids that you kind of choose over that. I don't know if that's going to be playing down one of those lanes. And Gale as well seems a little bit odd to me. It just doesn't seem right from Revenant so far.
Is it like a bow lane with vision kind of concept? Maybe, but maybe they're holding back on the pipe with the last pick because it is quite a risky one to run into. I mean, brawlers like Tara can have a great amount of ability to overthrow with the shades and the gadgets coming through. Let's see what Luminosity want to add. So I probably agree with you. I think 8-bit here as a mid is a worthy advocate, which they could definitely consider here. And again, a lot of other options. Spike through the lanes can be quite devastating as well, as that kind of safe pair of hands also. But the long-ranged game is really where it comes down to in the mid loop. The hypercharge is the strongest, in my opinion, in the game at present. Would like to have seen maybe even like a bit of a tune down to it, but we didn't. It will stun immediately if combined with hypercharge. And of course, the loader to finish things off. Squeak coming in for Revenant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't dislike the Squeak. I think it's going to be pretty solid against those support from Beyonds coming in from the Tara. They can do a lot of work, if not dealt with, and one shot from the Squeak should be able to do just that. But from my perspective, this draft from Luminosity Gaming seems so much stronger than they'll be fine.
Well, I know Kenny backstage is over the moon, like yourself. Two of the sort of caster picks coming out in terms of their favourite brawlers. Let's see who is going to get that first game in the pocket. And, you know, I kind of agree with you, Trav. I think the Gale is a bit of an oddball choice. The Tara, I completely get. Those lane sides can be very much aggressed by Chino.
A lot of that heat from the support from Beyond comes down as well, quickly eradicated. Actually going to fall surely too with a lot more slows. And Revenant back in business.
Prvo su pobedili, treba da pobedite dve da bi bilo 1-0, a lepo je nahvatala.
252 above that man's head. But the Joseph there comes in. They should be okay for now. Really territory.
They do amazing. And then LG just come in, they clean up as soon as Super starts to show themselves. Flipped on its head. Super available on the right, snuck past Charles here, still a chance. 12 seconds on the clock, need to bring this back. Or the first set is going straight to Luminosity. Need to make a play now, no bow mines available. Luke Super comes in, double pull from Chino to save the game. Down they go. And Luminosity takes set one.
Chino for me. That was, what a set that was for him.
Just
kind of threw it away. All that hard work to come back under pressure. You know, despite that first game really being all about Luminosity, it was a fantastic start. A night and day difference. And then as quickly as that, Luminosity stole it and they get that first set. Now, going into the second,
wipe
that slate clean.
I mean, it's close. It's so close. And I mean, Revenant, they had their moments, but I just feel they overstay their welcome at certain points. Gem carriers should be going down when you're on your half of the map. Really that much pressure there. Some beautiful stuff from Sean. I think he was really the main man.
Ali na kraju, ono nisu snimio I tu su sve ponovno pokupili.
All it takes is one play and the game's flipped, and there's just too
I to je bio klak.
from Luminosity for Revenant to deal with.
Fake deal nam. Ovdje je mogu lako da se izvuče. Ovo pogađam, sklik promašujem. Pade jedan, pade i bol, kupe se itemi I idu dole. Mislim, tada samo što nije umro, ali...
And he's still going forwards with such low amount of HP. But I mean, Trishant, we said he was the man on that brawler that was making the moves. Patchy with 5, Charles with 1, Sheena with 5 as well, but 2-2-7. Trishant really making his mark, but just not enough for Revenant.
I felt like if they could just hold on to those gems a bit longer, then it
Ja
may have
mislim
been a
da
bit
su
different
nam ovo
story.
killovi.
But for Revenant Esports, they're going to have to reset the mental going into the second set. Ultimately, one that they really do need to secure now. It would be very tough to come back when you're 2 sets down on the world stage. Never an easy thing when you're not, let's be honest. But certainly some mistakes that were made that were costly that they're going to have to be able to rectify going into things. And it comes down again to those giraffes, which I just felt like in that first instance, Luminosity did show me a great deal of awareness towards what Revenant were wanting to do.
And Revenant's draft just didn't seem that great in my eyes either. Never mind Luminosity's being amazing. We're going to see that Charlie band out yet again along with the Jessie and the Lou of Luminosity. Obviously, not going to be wanting to see that brawler on this map. Lou is so dangerous on every map, but Hot Zone specifically really makes its mark.
Colette izabrana. Blokani su Jessie, novi brawler, Lou, Cornelius Rosa I Jessie. Dva
very quite predictable. It's the best brawler for the mode, so I like that from Luminosity and Charlie.
Cikali Jack, da ne može slušati, jeste dosta veliki problem.
But Jessie as well. Really was always quite a meta brawler in dueling beatles, so I quite like that ban from them. Ultimately as well, that mid is where the battles are going to be able to go down. B can be there for long range. Lane side, I think, is where B can really start to thrive, and Poco as well. I was going to mention this, we haven't really seen much of Poco recently, and I don't know why. In the mid, he's got great survivability and very tough to shake, and ultimately the objective is in that mid, so a lot of the games are won and lost by that kind of individual matchup.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to have a very good matchup. They're going to be able to take the Pam as well. Obviously, Luminosity are going to want to stay away from it because that Colette has made it. Oh, but Shelly going to come in and, against a B, not something I will have expected, but I don't mind it. They managed to get the Pam because Luminosity don't want it because of the Colette, and I think Revenant have got a much better comp this time.
Maisie, I think we both know how we feel about Maisie, but I think if played correctly, it could be a good one. I want to see how Revenant Esports kind of handled the shell shot. If they open up too much of the map, they're going to be kind of aiding into what Luminosity are wanting to achieve. So I think they're going to be very cautious on the trigger finger and making sure that the aim is going to be where it counts. But I quite like what Luminosity are cooking here. I think Maisie's a bit of an underrated one, can sometimes come home with no goods whatsoever, can sometimes be the very thing that turns the game on its head, and a hypercharge that can charge and recycle really quite effectively for me. It's one of those which is like not necessarily the strongest of hypercharges, but one that you're able to get more frequently than most.
Yeah, will Revenant start to bring back, or will Luminosity take a step closer to day number 3 of this competition? Patchy plays with him against Sergeant. Some shots coming through. Charles going to fall low, and Trishant able to push forwards. Does get the kill there. Nice stuff from him. Patchy left alone, but screeching soul out of nowhere. Getting a kill, and Chino cleans the left. Gadget coming in from Chino. The Rattle Hive will clean up that turret quite nicely.
Yeah, Pam is definitely going to be a problem here for Luminosity. In my opinion, one of the strongest brawlers in the meta at the moment, which is why I quite like this Poco pick from Luminosity. In all honesty, gotcha Gadget there from response, trying to keep in position. He will go down and not find the connection, but Charles will double on the right-hand side. Now he's reaching his follow-up. A lovely retake from Luminosity.
Hypercharge ready to roll. Gonna use the hypercharge. Shelly's got hers now as well, so a big turnaround can happen. Response pushing forwards, but not finding the connections with that gotcha they didn't desire. Charles gonna get hit onto the Shelly. Gonna mean Pam is just out of the way, but now the hypercharge comes in from Sergeant, but he gets
Shelly pada.
From him and Luminosity walk.
Ništa super reagujete za Shelly koletovo. Jedan ljudi. Jedan još malo kraj.
They're going to have to rethink this set. It's tumbling out of control.
I'll let you know. Yeah, really not great form. I don't dislike their draft. I think I agree, it just needs to be fixed. Like Luminosity's gaming, the draft isn't screaming to me, going to win this game. It's screaming to me, it's a bit thrown together in my eyes, and I think Revenant can make this work. But they've just got to get rid of possibly some of those nerves.
I mean, we know how difficult it is to get a Pam healing station with a B, don't we? Let's be honest. And if they can just start to gain back that early sign of control, as we saw in Gem Grab, that's where, for me, Revenant Esports have that chance. Response going in, but stun now with a lovely time gadget from Charles, punished though by Sergeant, and this is the best opportunity for Revenant to take back control.
That was gorgeous, but as soon as that happens, everything falls apart for them. Now it's LG back in control, and Revenant Esports back in their spawn. Hypercharge available as well. Spirit should be following in behind response here, but he's got gadgets through. Gotta have those heals first. Now he goes forward, gonna get some connections on the way back, but not really finding all on the way. Pigeon on the left of Sergeant brings a lot of damage in, but not really getting that much. Patchy back up and should re-establish.
36%. Luminosity on a connection again from Charles coming in. What a way to demonstrate how to play Macy. Sergeant there popping gadget. The clay pitchers will whittle down Patchy to 12 HP. But look at this. All three members on the zone gaining that all-important objective. And now approaching 60%.
do problemi, nekako se izvlači poko.
Along with a hypercharge response dashed away, I think there. Not really sure that was about where he was just trying to avoid some shots. Chino gonna get the shot as well. Beautiful from him.
Od strane B.
Having a good time here. A lot of hits being connected by Chino. Got a pack punch with this one.
Ali tu baš nešto nema veze gore.
There's a lot to say for.
I love that from Chino. Really did helping hand his team to get all back into the center now. Only 10% needed. And now they're going to be unshakable on this zone response. But I have one last thing to say about it. The hypercharge coming in, but the heals from Patchy. The screeching solo still suffices. 5% now. And this is going to be another set. Luminosity Gaming are starting to run away.
Pobeda 2-0. Victory.
On top of the world right now. 2 sets in the bag.
Na koliko se igra? Na 2 ili 3 pobeđene? Mape.
And this is a very good-looking North American team.
Well, I said I had some reservations coming into this to how Luminosity Gaming were going to approach it. It's Charles' first land. It's a first time really on the world stage for all 3 members of them, but they are thriving under the pressure. This is not just convincing. This is starting to look like a walkover. And honestly now, Revenant Esports are going to have to bring out every trick in the book. They've got to slow the pace of these games and start to bring back control. It was looking a bit better for me than the previous set, which was very one-sided. Until that second game, we saw a glimmer of hope. But honestly, it's the synergy. It's beautiful to watch on the side of Luminosity.
I mean, that was gorgeous from Charles as well. He stood the response mid-season, stopped him in his tracks, kind of put him in a bad position going forward where Chino and Patchy could pinch him down and get that kill. I mean, there was some moves made by Revenant, but just more from LG.
I mean, we've said time and time again, right, kind of how we felt about Macy as a brawler, but I've always said that I'm waiting for that moment where someone can really convince me, and that was the game, honestly, for me. Charles really just look at the damage, 428. That is insane from him. 9 takedowns for Chino, Patchy on 4, but nonetheless doing his bit. Everyone on that squad is really thriving at the moment.
They really are. I mean, the team play that these guys really do bring to the table is just unparalleled by anything that Revenant Esports are bringing in. I mean, they need to up the game. 3 sets in a row is what's required for them to be able to win this game now. And with Luminosity's form looking like this, I just don't see it happening.
We're going into Bounty next strike.
Biggest hurdle for them.
Kreće banovani su novi Brawler, Piper, Nani, Sprout, Sprout, Grom I Mr. P.
Handling that particular role, if those pulls hit, this is what we said. Execute those final moments where the response really came into his own and landing a lot of those. I've got fond memories of that, but the response is great though. Ruff's going to really hard counter out what Gene's able to achieve. The Bell as well, going to be that perfect brawler to really kind of have a lot of damage and a lot of value when it comes to those shots ricocheting between players.
Yeah, I mean, I do like the Bell, and I think it's a solid idea to take Ruffs against this Gene too. Tanking out with those sandbags, but now it's up to Revenant Esports. They need to bring something that's going to be able to clean up those sandbags quick, open up the room for Gene to be able to get these pulls. You know, I was going to say, do they just go something really, really aggressive and try gamble it? And that's exactly what they do. Buster comes in, Sergeant selecting that brawler, and I think that can do a lot of work. But you've got to remain aggressive the whole time.
And ultimately, to charge your super, you want to kind of cluster together. Well, that's where a Bell is really going to come into play and get a ton more value. So I kind of like and admire the aggressive approach. It is needed on a map like Dry Season, but it is a bit questionable. Squeak as well to come in to the mix, ultimately shutting down a lot of those lanes. The Residue has a recent nerf, but it is still very, very good. But I just like what Luminosity are cooking hits a little bit better. And with his third and final pick, if it is that kind of aggressive idea that can just go in and come out with some goods, I really feel it will polish off this kind of comp. Squeak is very squidgy. Gene can be there just to kind of heal, but that can sometimes aid something like a Mortis to get more cyclability. Ultimately, for me, Lou wouldn't be the worst shout either. That is still on the cards here. Again, the strongest hyper charge in the game. I mean, do we call it now? Revenant Esports have got a mountain to climb. They're already up against it, and this comp is scary, Trav.
I mean, that Lou really, I feel it's just put the nail in the coffin. Buster's going to have such a...
Dobro. Da. Ništa niste čuli mog glasa, ništa čudim. Ovdje se još uvijek ništa ne dešava. Ne smeju, jednostavno znaju da mi je potrebna ova pobjeda. Ubili su jednog igrača i uzeli su zvezdicu. Inače, ovo je...
Timer down. If Sergeant lands the ball, and he does with the Chino's come in right into his back lines, and that's more stars above the heads for Revenant.
Patchy in a world of hurt as well, does manage to pick up his super on the way. Charles going forward, though he wants the whole team by the looks of things. Surely not going to find it. Full Spirit going to take him down there as well. Response just trying to fend off the rest of his team. Not allow them to come back, but he's picking up kills along the way. Barrier there as well to shield down some shots. But Chino not going to find anything from it. And 9 stars for Revenant as they look strong.
Jako veliki problem je ovaj kraj.
Bringing in Patchy, gaining more, 13-0. Luminosity Gaming have just not been in this so far.
13-0. Ali oni se pušaju jednostavno, kriju se i čekaju da neko jednostavno krene napred.
Sergeant pulling everybody towards him. Brilliant stuff. Trishant cleaning up the roughs many times. And Revenant Esports, first sign of life. And it's a very big sign.
They just woke up. Revenant just entered the arena. What was that wonderful place from Sergeant? For me, those pulls were really pushing the pixels to land. And they were on point every single time. Fantastic stuff. Luminosity really just were not feeling themselves. They were not in that mentally. And also, when it came down to the guns, let's see what the response will be.
Mislim, čekali su taj kill, jednostavno ovdje u cijeli Buda su samo bili.
Already there for Revenant Esports and Sergeant specifically now. All we're going to do is sit behind these walls, wait for Patchy, just someone to step out of line and not have those sandbags ready to... Oh, I mean, there's nobody to stop him. Sergeant hit him pull after pull, and Patchy just aggressive. They know they need to make some moves, but he's going to fall again.
Yeah, you've got to be a bit more calculated than this when it comes to going into the spawn aggressively. I think Luminosity just showing that they're a bit flustered in that regard, and they've got to try to be a bit more communicative along the way and time those runs accordingly. It's going to be pulled in yet again, and it's 9 stars to 0. Luminosity have got to get a takedown, but they're just trying to go in too aggressive.
Ne može.
I mean, say goodbye to those sandbags. Trishant cleaned them up so well. Charles going to get pulled in. Double slow. They're going to stop Sergeant from going back, but a pull straight towards his teammates. Might go down though. He's going to have the barricade, but Patchy going forward. And it's down to 5.
Be
a bit of a spicy turnaround. 5 stars is all that remains, or 6 rather, between them. Let's see how things will go now as the supply drop comes down for Charles. If Shuna can land the mark, Vengeful Spirits there from Sergeant just to keep everyone deterred, but nonetheless, it's going to be quite a crucial moment and potentially a turnaround. Mark slightly missed there from Chino, but I can sense what Luminosity
Ima 30 sekundi, Belly je krenuo napred!
Now the pinching in, hypercharge from Charles and takes the lead, but the pull is still there. 25 seconds on the clock. Revenant Esports just going to wait, regroup and come forward as a team, because that is all that's going to be able to win this.
Yeah, Luminosity just timing their retreat in. You've got to with 15 seconds on the clock. Miss pull there. We'll take down the Sergeant. Still Luminosity, Trishant all alone. Charles will fall, but it's still with Luminosity on the left. They will take the game and keep things alive.
It just wasn't enough. The rest of his team fell, and Nesteg really did do a lot of work there. Stopped the Gene in his tracks and stopped him from getting that influential pull.
Oni bili pustili.
But Revenant Esports definitely have more than a say in this game.
se nije smelo
It was
propustiti.
calculated. You know, that was the most important takeaway for me. The Luminosity was starting to look far, far better when it came down to things and just ironing out that huge mistake which was going in overly aggressive and doing it more as a team, as a unit. Blue Star was almost with Trishon there, but he actually just went away from it, and this is actually going to be Luminosity now, surely, which will take it for themselves and heal up, go back on those back lines, and a much different outcome to the previous 2 games.
So get ready for a different tempo now. Trishon going to take a few shots to the face, Mark along the way as well. Sergeant just looking to try and get his super, but they're in a great position. You know, sticky residues coming down, pulls being available. It's going to be a very dangerous position for LG to be in. The super is ready for Charles. Can throw it out, but choosing to wait. Now, sticky residue around the right-hand side, looking to deflate this push with a super, though. Response low is marked up too. And skating on that rink, Chino picks up the kill and
Dobra.
It's looking good. Great tap
Mislim,
from Chino, going to get some good value in. But
mnogo imaju
sure,
probleme.
the HP over time is going to be mounting up as a result of that star power, but all 517 whistling down, Patchy will fall, and the Blue Star handed over just one singular takedown, and this will be the lead for Revenant.
I mean, Trishon's position is beautiful, getting this pinch in. Pull available from Sergeant as well in response to come in and join them once that happens. Great position for Revenant to bring this back, but more than enough time on the clock to be flipped a couple of times. They're just banding together on the side of LG, waiting for Revenant Esports to come forward and then ready to punish them.
Well, I think Revenant Esports will be careful. There's a lot of HP reward connection from Trishon. Everyone is in that corner. A triple pull, but it's not going to be enough. Trishon is going to be pulling in more. The HP is just not being taken. Patchy though falls. That's going to swing things slightly. 1 star still though for Revenant.
Kako je preživeo?
Beautiful from Sergeant, flipping the script once more. Trishon super down the right side, slowing Patchy in his tracks, but he's still moving forwards. 8 seconds on the clock, and Revenant wants to stay alive, but hypercharge there. Response adds another, and the rest of his team clean up. Revenant still alive.
A crucial moment as Revenant dig deep, keeping themselves in this one, and now some valuable team talk surely as they start to feel more like themselves. This is what we wanted, a back and forth, a closer affair. It's not over yet. Luminosity Gaming will probably be kicking themselves slightly, but you got to hand it to Revenant. It was a beautiful way to push back upon that spawn side, and that squeak pick for me really landed it when it mattered most.
Yeah, I mean, Trishon down that right-hand side.
Ej, super.
All set long was the changing factor, and he played it so beautifully. I mean, look at that. You can just see this little snippet, but a max range pull from Sergeant coming in so clutch.
Ovo je iskreno doktorski odrađeno.
This is what I wanted from Revenant from those early sets. A chance to show and demonstrate how close I feel like this battle really is, and against the odds as well. You know, when you're up against the wall and things are looking bleak, this is the response that you've got to have on the world stage. You've got to stay composed, you've got to come together and work better as a unit, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, 1 more needed for Luminosity, 2 for Revenant to completely flip this game around, and it's gorgeous. Look at that gadget, so nice. Trishon really fails to clean up there, I feel, but Sergeant has his back when it matters. Brilliant pull.
That's what you want to hear, isn't it? Just the team coming to life in the stats.
Ne znam šta bi vam rekao iskreno, razočaran jesam. Ne smišljeno pobjeda.
Played it better. Everyone doing their thing. Response on 8, Trishant on 8, and Sergeant on 6. I mean, even Sergeant with the lowest on that squad, pretty much more than the majority on the side of Luminosity. It was a much, much better set. It was like they just found themselves once again, as the previous sets prior to that just did not look like the team that we saw.
There, the confidence returns, and now it could be dangerous for Luminosity.
Revenant had the better one there. I was a bit unsure going into Bounty previously, but Revenant made it work, and that's the meta's been evolving as these teams have been coming together and doing their scrims over the couple of days that they've really been hammering it out. Everyone's been finding answers to things which they haven't really been necessarily having to face for the majority of the year. Pinhole Pond, of course, that kind of Brawl map where it can turn so ever quickly. You know, those turnaround brawlers, the busters are going to be banned out for me. Charlie is going to be banned for me. And let's see. Lou is available here still though as well. Maisie banned on both sides here. Charlie and the
Želje se ne ostvaruju tek tako. Mora...
Не питайте što sam radio uzet.
So influential and can change so much, but Revenant keeping faith in the Buster. It beat the Lu in the last, but it needs to do it again. Squeak returning once more for Revenant as well. And this is looking very similar to what we've seen in the past.
I was going to say, Revenant is also playing the same playbook. They forgot to turn the page here because this is looking very familiar here for me. But I do love that Lu first pick. You know, despite the Buster, despite the Squeak and the Shelly now to add to it. I mean, that is one scary brawler which has been made ever scary with the hypercharge. I can see your face, Trav, and those at home can't, but if they could, it's a picture. Jackie is not that bad. I've got to say, it's scary. It really is scary. Hypercharge has elevated her for me.
3 hypercharges ready to roll for Luminosity then, and I mean, Revenant Esports looking that in the face cannot feel too confident. This third pick is going to have to be a very influential one for them. I mean, yes, we saw Buster being able to do with Lu at certain points in the last game, but a Shelly and a Jackie to add to that is going to be a difficult thing for Revenant to face. Gale as their last pick, bringing it back in once more from that first map, but it's going to need to do a lot of work in this matchup.
See, I know how Kenny feels about the Gale in Brawl, but I'm just not overly convinced. It is a brawler which is having a bit more playtime in terms of the meta, but that Lu is a scary, scary prospect. I mean, if Luminosity can land that with the hypercharge, you know, when you're up against the wall, you're just going to be bare and just ready for the taking there. I think that if they can just time that effectively, it could be all over very, very quickly here. Revenant have got still that uphill battle. It's coming into this set, surely, could be feeling better about it as a result of surviving in the last.
Charles steps that line early on then, and Revenant looking to punish that. Great pull there. Coming back, Chino has a super, but he's not going to use it. Feels like they've conceded the goal already. Exactly what they have done. Sergeant starting things off strong with an early goal.
Profesionalcevo je bilo mnogo brzo.
Into things and play it slow and steady. Gadget there from Sergeant, just for a bit of desperation, I feel, really. And that right-hand side is response. Low HP falters now. Chino, 2 HP for him. Who's going to come out on top there? It will be Sergeant, as you... Beautiful connection and finds the angle. And then...
Gets things out, but as things are moving forward, he's trying to get it done. Super the ball.
Yo!
Great stuff coming in. Wonderful defense from Revenant. The sweet super hits and Sergeant.
Ay.
It's surely going to be a walk-in, right? He's going to think second of it. Charles coming up for the small was enough to turn him. Now regrouped and Luminosity really are on those back lines.
Ima beži kikolo. Dobro, no još ništa ne da. Ne, ne dopuštaj, ne dopuštaj. Dobro.
I like this though from Luminosity, just playing it slow and steady and pushing their way through. Hypercharge from Sheena, not going to do much as a result of that play from response, and that has been enough to slow the advance. 15 seconds on the clock, and overtime now looking inevitable.
Wonderful barricade from response to that Shelly there. Sheena wasn't able to do too much with it. Super now. They want ready for response. Looking for a super here, but an early one coming out of Trishant. Now the super comes in from Charles, who evens things out. Creates the ice ring on the map, on the ball. Hypercharge there, slow down Sergeant, but he's going to knock him away. Leave him alone, but now he's coming back again. Another super and another slow. But response holding down the right.
Wonderful there from Patchy, but it's not enough to push through. Revenant still in a good spot. The ball, of course, in the corner. Luminity have got to be able to wipe these slates clean. Response pushing forward with a mountain of HP and finding Chino as well. One pass, and it's going to be over. It's going to be the game going the way of Revenant.
Животик!
At the moment, can't hit the player in mid. So he focuses that right, and that opens up the world for Revenant. Brilliant from them, and now 1 game away from a set 5.
It's just really great to see that Revenant did not take things lying down. They did not accept defeat, and they are fighting back hard. They've almost tied this one up. One more game, as you say.
Ja, što radiš?
Good shot coming in there. That's a wonderful one as well.
Ja. Kako se Squeak ima skin?
Side from Charles is Patchy coming forward though, pull in for response, trying to make a break for it.
Gadget pop from response, he will find Patchy for it as well. Charles though is stuck through on the left hand side, going to get the ball though for safety. I think it's the right play to make, just kind of recollect themselves before going on that aggressive. But I'm really liking how Revenant Esports are responding to these situations. Response under scrutiny, going to go down now as well. But LG have got to get this ball out. Stun there onto Sergeant, and now they take down the Trishant. A nice trade in that left, but LG have just got to start to work their way forwards more and play less defensive for me.
0.1 of a second.
Ja już polamcie nas.
Goal almost got it down and had the super in front to shoot the ball in as well. Nice super shell shot there as well as that star power coming through. Patchy going forwards, Hypercharge not making the biggest of impacts.
No ja
Charles
nie...
on the super down, not getting the stun that he wants on Sergeant. Not going to be pleased about that, and a great gadget
Oj.
there from response, but it actually
O,
gets his
no,
teammate.
super charge. Super ulti. Ja ću ga tako zvati, super ult.
Trying to give themselves that early advantage here, and Gino with the thing down there. Now as Patchy goes on the right, this is a great time. If everyone stays on their feet, this could be the
Coming through, not enough damage.
Ja to było dobry!
Opted not to use it, and I question that a little bit, especially with only 40 seconds on the clock. They got to make a move, and they got to make a move fast.
Revenant have got to go. They've got to go. Try and get Patchy down. The bloodstream blow from Sergeant will force it straight into the hands of Response. This is a fantastic start. The shielding there from Response, forcing back Chino. It's a 1 versus 3, but Trishant is low. They've got to find a way in 20 seconds to get this ball through. And Patchy will say no for Hypercharge, but there, the super forcing him back, and it's still Revenants for the taking.
3v1 here, pushing forwards, barricade up to Charles, looking for the Hypercharge, looking for something, but doesn't find anything. Revenant bring it back 1-1, 5 seconds on the clock. We're heading to overtime.
A surgical response from Revenant, really quite calculated, but now Luminosity having the final say potentially here. Chino with the Hypercharge, keeping everyone at bay, but still, Patchy low. Great stun though from Charles, that just might have alleviated some of the advance.
But he does survive, and I mean, a pass of the ball there got Sergeant killed rather than helping him. Patchy looking quite low in some wonderful connecting shots, but Charles gets another slow, another super in the goal mouth as well. Super ready from Chino, but the super to the left, he catches it. Misplaced shot from Patchy, fended off by Revenant.
So yeah, what a shell shot there, but shooting the ball, and it's still like Patchy. Is it just in the nick of time?
Kakva pobjeda, ovo je bilo ljudi za trunkicu, znači...
They've been able to keep it alive. Oh my word, what a turnaround.
Još uvijek vidim jasno kako je ovo bilo pobeđeno, ali okej.
Managed to get the goal as well. Match point once more. Luminosity need to close this out because Revenant seem to be getting stronger and stronger.
You're absolutely right. They really are. And look at this already. Chino falls immediately here. Charles low. Patchy as well. Going to be the one to stay on the healthiest amount of HP, but this is already a very aggressive beginning. Great gadget there from Response, sucking Patchy, and yeah, look at this. Revenant really want that early goal.
Charles low, Chino the only one defending now, but it's a 3v1. Gotta try and fend this off. Pass to the mid, might be able to do it, but Patchy has this pull. Gotta bait it, gotta do something. The pass backwards, but Patchy's defending it well. Great damage, surely gets the kill, but actually goes down before he can get anything done. Knockback still there, barricade up, stun comes through. Team wipe from Revenant, and an early goal.
Oh, that was convincing. It really was. A couple of mistakes here and there along the way. Would like to have seen maybe a twister for me to be able to just keep Patchy a bit more at bay, but let's see now how the responses from Luminosity is looking pretty good so far. Patchy will find response, and everyone's still on their feet. It's just Trishant. Patchy gonna force it through and walk this one in to tie
Kokov gol! A riziko je iznao sve, zato što je lagano moglo Squeak da ga ubije.
Trishant survives though. 1v1, Hypercharge there, and the wall.
Patchy with the backpack out the end. I love that. Everyone now celebrating as they should. But you are right. They had to shut down Revenant. Revenant were just building so much valuable momentum, and what a way to start the day. And Group A now looking like it's very much closer than many expected coming into this one.
Disappointment for Revenant, but what a start for Luminosity Gaming. They knew this group was going to be harder than it showed on the surface, and I think Revenant have put an excellent point to that as well. Luminosity in a wonderful position, taking down probably their hardest opponent in this group early on.
Ja ovo prekidam, znaš što će trajati video još 13 sekundi, još 13 minuta. Dakle, ja se posle. Sada ponovo igra 19. Mings Gaming protiv BC Gaminga. Znači, LG Gaming protiv BC Gaming. Ovdje biti. Mislim, ponovo igraju. Samo što su, da, mislim, pazite, ako oni ovu pobede, prolaze dalje. Tako da... Ljudi, to je bilo to što se tiče ovog videa i ja ću još ovo da gledam, tako da... Ništa, poz.